Hey there, travel friends. I'm not sure how many people are able to join today because I didn't give really any notice, and I really apologize for that. However, I didn't really know for sure what time I was going to be able to do this because, I'm on a completely different time zone than a lot of the viewers who usually log in. So we'll just see. Anyway, in the meantime, it looks like I'm literally talking to myself, but that's okay. So we'll just try this out for the first little while and we'll see what happens. And I'm going to go on for about, I don't know, we'll just see how long I decide to go today. I'm pretty tired. I've been traveling quite a bit. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Amy. This is Solo Travel Adventures with Amy, and I'm currently on a round the world trip. And so I am at this moment in Almaty, and I hope I'm saying this right. I'm trying really hard to say the name of the city right because I look at it and I completely think it's supposed to be said a different way. So Almaty, Kazakhstan. And that is where I currently am right now. And it is 11 o'clock p.m. And so pretty late. But anyway, it looks like I have one person on. So if you want to leave any comments in the chat, we can chat. And that'll be awesome. If not, it's totally fine. So anyway, I'm on a round the world trip, and I started off by flying from the US to Europe. And my plan is I'm going to keep on going east until I make it all the way back to the US. So that's the plan. I have about 7 or 8 weeks in order to, and I wonder if I've only ever done this one other time before. So I don't know. It's been a while. So anyway, I just changed that. So we'll see how this works. And please let me know in the comments if my microphone is not working right or if anything is weird. Please let me know because I don't want to just be sitting here talking and nobody can hear me. That would be completely pointless. So anyway, my plan, like I said, I have about 7 or 8 weeks to complete this journey. And I'm going to be, like I said, currently I'm in Kazakhstan, and I'll just keep on heading east until I make it home. And I don't have any plans. Like basically I'm just planning as I go. And I mean, I have some general ideas of places that I would like to go, but it all depends on, it's all based on price. So basically how I'm deciding this is that I will look on Google Flights. Oh, Stephanie, you're on. It took me a minute to figure it out. Good. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm so glad you're here. In fact, I'm gonna practice this. There's your comment, Stephanie. It takes me a long time to figure this stuff out. Anyway, so Stephanie, we'll just have a chat until more people come on. But yeah, so unless you probably already realized this, but yeah, so I'm going to just keep on going east, and it's all based on price. So basically I'll look on Google Flights, and I will just, like for example, I'm in Kazakhstan. So I'm either going to fly to the next place, or I'll take a bus or a train or whatever is easiest. But my current idea is that I'll be doing the stands first, like as many of the stands that I can. And I know that maybe people don't like to call it the stands, but that's just, that's what I'm calling it for right now. So Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, I do have my visa for Uzbekistan, which I'm certainly very happy about. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks for commenting. I'm so glad because it's just us. Because I gave no notice to anybody. So I just literally put it on a half hour ago. Like, I'm going to be live. Anyhow, so, and I apologize if I start coughing. I'm totally under the weather. I think I caught something from some friends in Vienna that were sick. So let me just drink this tea. Anyway, so I'm trying to recoup and not get any sicker. So anyway, I'll do it all based on price. So I'll either do flights or I'll do buses or trains, like whatever works. So I'm kind of looking at options from Kazakhstan to go on to my next location. I don't know if it's going to be Uzbekistan or Kyrgyzstan. I haven't decided yet, but it'll all just based on like convenience, price, all of those things. So I was able to get my visa for Uzbekistan. That took about 7 days. I applied for it when I was sitting at the Amsterdam airport, the first leg of my journey. Like I told you, everything is like just last minute. So anyhow, so I booked that. I booked it. I applied for my visa. It was quite the process for Uzbekistan. Let me tell you, it was really quite the process because the website was, it was straightforward, but it wasn't. So Like it tells you, oh, you have to, fill out this form and then you have to enter your pictures. Well, the pictures were the problem because I would insert my pictures. Like I just used my passport, like a passport, like not my exact passport picture that I just barely got renewed, but like one that was taken about the same time. But it wouldn't work. Like no matter what I tried, like I would put that one in, then you also had to have a picture of your passport. I put those things in and like it kept on coming back, like error with the photo, but it wouldn't tell me what the error was. So I had no idea what to fix. So I just kept on trying like a million things. And finally, I just gave up on the photo that I had. And I just went and found like a white pillar at the lounge in Amsterdam airport in Schiphol. And I just was like, put my phone out and I just took a selfie and they liked that one. They took it. So go figure, they didn't like my professional ones that I had saved. But anyway, so I submitted that. And within, I think it was 6 or 7 days, I had notification that I had my visa to Uzbekistan. I also applied for a visa to India because that might be on the trip. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It just all depends on how long all the different pieces take because I have to be back home on October 21st, 22nd. So, of course, I'll be limited on time with that. But anyway, sorry. Once again, sorry for the itching nose. Sorry for the terrible voice, which will mean I probably shouldn't do this for too long tonight just because it is 11 p.m. Anyway, I did want to talk about just a couple things. And Stephanie, since it's just me and you, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them and we can just have a chat. I don't want to just be sitting here just telling you random stuff. If there's something specific that you would like to ask or know, please ask and we'll just have a chit chat. So anyway, I will say, I hope you feel better soon. Oh, you know what? That's so smart. The honey and the tea. I'm gonna put your comment up on here because if anybody watches this later, that would be helpful. I think that's a good idea. I need to go to the grocery store tomorrow and buy some more stuff. I went yesterday morning because you can't drink the water here. So I had to buy a giant thing of water and carry all this back to the stuff. How are the charging setup for your laptop work? Oh, okay. We'll talk about that right now. We'll just get off my sickness stuff. My charging setup worked perfect. I was so excited about it. So I'm using it right now. So basically I took the 120 watt charger. That's the one I decided upon. And I took like 3 cords with me, but they were overkill. I didn't need to bring all those cords. So I have the 3 different options for cords. And ironically, one for my phone, my original cord for my phone, it works to charge the laptop. I didn't even have to buy all those stupid cords. I didn't know. I never thought in a million years that would work, but it works. But what is good about having multiple cords is that obviously you can charge multiple things at the same time, right? So I'm glad that I have more than one cord because like for right now, my phone is plugged into the computer so that we can use the webcam from the phone. Otherwise, the webcam from the computer is terrible. So I'm using the phone right now hooked up to the computer with one cord and then I have another cord that's charging the computer. So it is good. And my gosh, it has worked so great. I've been so happy with it. So glad I don't have the big brick with me. So glad. So anyway, so thanks for asking about that. And anyway, I was just going to say, so you can't drink the water here. So I bought a giant thing of water. I bought like orange juice and all the stuff. I bought some apples and from the little market and like a green market. It's called the Green Bazaar. Anyway, I don't know if it was a bad choice or not. I came home and I'm like washing them off. Like, sorry. I really should mute myself when I'm coughing. I really apologize for that. I will do that next time. Anyway, so what was I going to say? So yeah, I brought these because Almaty, it's known for its apples. That actually the name Almaty means apple, like grandfather of apple or something. So it's supposed to be where the apples were like first like discovered or something. I have to do more research. I don't really know for sure the facts on that. So anyway, I went to get these apples from the market. The guy said they were local. So I bought these apples. I came home and like rinsed them off and then I cut them up and I ate some. And then later on in the day, I didn't feel very good. So I don't know if it had anything to do with the apples or if it was not the apples. I don't know if it had anything to do with how I washed the apples or if it was something else entirely. But then I thought, how stupid. I used the water from the sink to rinse off the apples. Well, that was dumb. Anyway, it's difficult when you're not used to, I'm used to being able to just use my water from the sink, right? I'm not used to having to like use bottled water for everything. And so it's an adjustment. I'm trying to get used to that. So I should have probably bought 2 giant things of water because I'm almost out. Anyway, the honey and the lemon, I mean, the honey for sure is a good idea for my cough. I also wanted to say, this is just an FYI for other people. Actually, you know what? I don't like this show comments on this stage. I'm going to take this off. I think this is, yeah, okay. I don't need to have that on there. I'm just learning all this stuff with this. Anyway, I was going to say is that I have gotten sick on lots of other trips before, so this isn't new. However, it never makes it easier. Every place you go, you have to navigate the whole system. So I found a pharmacy that wasn't too far away from where I'm staying. Well, it was about a 15-minute walk. I thought it was closer, but anyway, the first night I was here, I went and went to the pharmacy, and they speak Kazakh. Sorry, let me mute. They speak Kazakh and Russian here. I don't speak either language. So what I did is I just took my Google Translate app on my phone. I would show you, but the phone is used as a webcam. So use the Google Translate app, and you just put in the language English to Russian is what I used. And then I just spoke in there. I said, hey, this is my symptoms. And I just like explained what I would normally tell them if I was being able to speak with them in their language. So I just said, blah, 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 I have this cough. This is what's coming on. I want to, I don't want to suppress it. I want to get the stuff out. So anyway, so then I showed it to the first person and said, who do I need to talk to? And she was like, she pointed to the place where I was supposed to go to talk to the pharmacist. So I went over there, got on the line, showed the Translate app the information that I had on there, and she was like, oh, okay. So she went and got the things, and then I bought it. So it was as simple as that. Then I had to go back the next day because I had a mosquito bite or some kind of insect bite. So I'll show you the first thing that it gave me. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's like it's all in Russian. Yeah, and when you look on the thing, it came from Moscow. But it's the weirdest. I will tell you, it's very unusual for me. I've never had like a cough syrup that was so like not medicine tasting. Like it literally just tastes like sugar water. It like tastes like nothing. I'm like, is this even anything? Or am I just taking a placebo? I don't know. I have no idea. So it's just what they gave me. I don't know if there's anything better. But anyway, I needed to get something I got bit by something somewhere on my leg. So anyway, I asked for an itch cream. So they gave me this. So it's kind of fun. Anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to share, like, if you ever get sick when you're traveling, there's always medication available. However, in this situation, oh, I'm so brave. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. It sucks getting sick when you travel. I can tell you that right now. But there generally is pharmacies in most places. And I've gotten lots of medications from pharmacies in Spain and Armenia and all over the place. Anyway, it seems like I always get some kind of respiratory when I first leave. And unfortunately, on this trip, because of the apple situation, I started getting like the traveler's stomach, which is not fun at all. So yesterday, that's what I was dealing with, was both those things. So it was great. It was really fun. But anyway, I wanted to show you this ring. So I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. It's kind of blurry. Where's my thing? There, can you see that? I just barely bought that today. I love it. My friend, so I met somebody there was a issue getting here, and there was a bunch of us that were stranded. So we became good friends, and one of the girls was from Almaty. So anyway, we've all been in touch. We have like a WhatsApp group that we can just stay in touch with each other. But we got together today, just briefly, and I noticed that she has this beautiful ring, and I was like, oh, where did you get it? So she gave me she showed me where it was at, gave me the name of the place. I went in, and she had several rings on, and I didn't realize I literally bought her exact same ring, but it's beautiful. It's got like a red stone, and it's all like handmade, and it's silver. And yeah, anyway, it is, it's really pretty. I don't know. Let me try to show you the details, like on the band. It's like, I don't know. It's probably super blurry, but I'm just trying to show. It's so pretty. Like, and I love the design, like, right. I don't know how to best do this. There we go. That's right. Try to focus on my face. So you can kind of see the red and then the design. So that's a Kazakh design. And so This is what I buy when I travel. I always buy jewelry, especially rings. Hold. Wow, I sound fantastic. Anyway, yeah, so this ring is so pretty. So I always, that's what I do when I travel is I don't buy other kinds of souvenirs that take up a lot of space. I literally just buy rings. Those are my favorite jewelry. I like necklaces too, but rings are my favorite. So anyway, then later on when I wear them, I'll be like, yeah, I bought that when I was in Kazakhstan, and my friend Jamali, that's it, like, she had that same exact ring. I didn't even realize I bought the same one. She sent me a picture. She was like, you bought my same ring. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I mean, I loved what she had, but I didn't realize that out of all the choices, I was buying the same exact ring that she has. Anyway, it was really fun. So let me tell you some fun things about Almaty, Kazakhstan. It's beautiful here. It's very green, and there's mountains, like really beautiful mountains, like right on the city limits. So you can actually take a bus right from city center right up into the mountains. It took us about 40 minutes to go up there. It's nice to have some good mountain air. It was beautiful. The fall colors are just like starting to show. I'll do like a whole video on that. I recorded some things and took pictures and stuff, but I'll do like a video on Almaty. But it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And anyway, they have like this up there when we got off the bus. Like I said, I think it was about 45 minutes or something. I don't remember. But anyway, when we got off the bus, there's like a huge ice skating rink, and apparently it's the ice skating rink that's the highest elevation of any place in the world, and it's enormous. And apparently in the summer times they use it for like concerts and stuff, which is really fun. But in the wintertime, when it's just white and snowy and beautiful, it is ice skating rink. I think that she said that they might have used it for like Olympic like preparation. Gosh, my brain is gone. Yeah, when they're training for the Olympic stuff. They've used that in the past, the ice skating rink. So anyway, I don't know, Stephanie, if you watched my little makeup video with the little mint container when I was at the pharmacy yesterday. Look at this teeny tiny mint container that I found. Oh my gosh, it's so small. It's so cute. So I was so stupid. I bought 3 of them because I wanted the mints anyway. But this container's adorable. And what's really cute is it has like this little red like little insert thing so that the mints come out, but it's the plastic that sits right in here. So what's nice about that is I think that I could possibly use that for something like with the design of the makeup tin. So anyway, this is so cute. This is so tiny. And it latches really good. So I bought 3 of these. So this one is lychee, and I bought peach and strawberry, maybe. Anyway, really, really cute. So that was really fun. Let's see. All right, Stephanie, if you have any other questions, please just give them in the comments. In the meantime, I'll just chat about random stuff. So I was going to say, I'm planning on doing a whole video on public transportation when you travel. Now, I will say, the Google directions are usually pretty good for public transportation. I've only ever had, I believe, 2 places that I've been, and all the places that the Google directions did not work. And that is here, and that was also Cyprus. Did not work at all. So it's a little frustrating because when it works, it's fantastic because it'll tell you the exact bus to take. It shows you the walking directions to the bus, all of those things. You're so cute, Stephanie. Great. Okay, cool. We'll just chat. I'll just tell you stuff. If you think of anything, feel free to just put anything in the comments and I'll just respond to it. We'll just have a combo. So anyway, I was going to say is that the Google directions are fantastic when they're there. I mean, like I said, it's been in every single place I've ever traveled with the exception of 2 places. When it's not there, it is a real pain because how are you supposed to figure out the public transportation if you don't have any way? So anyway, Jamali was showing me today. So apparently on their public transportation, they have a very limited subway line. I think she said there's like 7 or 8 stops. I don't think that it's probably not as useful right now because it takes a long time to get subways put in. You know, they just barely, I think, started that maybe 10 years ago. I don't know what she said. I can't remember. But it takes a long time, you know, infrastructure-wise, money, all that kind of stuff. You have to dig up everything. You have to put the tunnels in. It's not, I don't even know where to even begin. But anyway, so she was she was saying, like, so she showed me, like, you pay for the bus. You pay for the bus on with your phone. You just scan a QR code and then it brings up the app for the bus, for the public transportation, and then you just pay it directly on there. You'd already have things set up in there. They don't like to have, they don't like to use cash a lot here, which is rather unfortunate because I got like a bunch of cash out yesterday before I went to the market because I thought I would need it. I did use it at the one Apple place, but anyway, just one second. I need to mute again. Oh my goodness. Wow. That was a cough I was not expecting. Oh, I really hope I don't have to go into a clinic while I'm here because this cough isn't sounding good. Okay. I think their cough syrup is garbage. I don't think it works. And maybe it's, yeah, I need to actually, you know what I'm going to do when I get off this live? I should have done this before, but I'm going to actually Google Translate this entire box so that I know exactly. I mean, I looked at it from before, but just to see different things about it. And I need to know more details because perhaps this isn't the right thing for me to be using. I did look, so I've found that ChatGPT, we've gotten off topic here. I didn't even finish with the public transportation. Let me just finish with that. Sorry. Basically, on the public transportation app, it also has like the information with the maps, all the stuff. The only problem is that's all going to be in Russian. And so that doesn't do me lots of good. Anyway, so it's been a little bit difficult. I've done a lot of walking or taking taxis. Now their rideshare app, they don't actually use Uber here in Kazakhstan. They use Yandex and Yandex. And that's also, I also found that that's what they used in Armenia. I can't remember. I think that was Georgia as well. So the Caucasus region use Yandex, not Uber. And it's just easy. You just download the program, download the app, just like your regular, like your Uber. And then you just set it up. You put your little, credit card in there, all the stuff, and then it's set up for you so that when you go to use it, it's all ready to go. What was interesting is they have different options. You can do carpool. I don't know if they have that option on Uber. I can't remember, but they have carpool, and then they had like different levels of rides. I would just take the cheapest one. I wasn't super interested in doing the carpool just because I don't want to have to be dropping off at all these people's places and all that stuff. I just don't want to do that. So anyway, yeah. So I've taken the Uber, the Yandex like twice, 2 or 3 times, and then I walked the rest of the time. It's a pretty walkable city. Anyway, it's been pretty good, but it's been funny because the different times that this way, I knew that the directions didn't work for the public transportation. Is that so when you look at the Google, when you're doing directions, you can choose car, you can choose the little bus or train, and then you can choose walking. Sometimes leaving on biking on there, it just depends. So anyway, when you click on the bus, it's the exact same amount of time as the walking. And then when you click on it, it doesn't show you any bus directions or anything. It just has like you walk. And I was like, stupid. I don't know, Google. I don't know what their deal is. Maybe they don't have maybe it's not, maybe it's like a permissions thing or something. I don't know why they have it in some places and then they don't in others. But fortunately, like I said, it's been available in all the places except for 2. Cyprus was extraordinarily frustrating because I could not figure out anything and I could not get around by just walking, and the taxis were extremely expensive. You couldn't use the taxis. So Cyprus was a very frustrating place for me. Very frustrating. Almaty is not as frustrating. Honestly, it's totally fine because it's very walkable. And so I don't have to use that, and the taxis are cheap. When I'm talking cheap, I'm talking like we went from the airport. It was like a 30, maybe, I want to say it was like at least a 30-minute ride. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. I cannot recall the exact details, but I want to say it was a 30-minute ride, and it was like $5. I mean, come on, that's so cheap. When I'm doing it around here, like let's say 15, 20-minute ride is, or even like a 10 to 15, 20-minute ride is between $1 and $3. Yeah, so the exchange, so that, I mean, that's with using US dollars. Granted, like, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's so cheap, because for the local people, it isn't cheap. It's expensive for them to use, because they're using their money. So when we bring in stronger currencies, of course, you have a better go at it. So anyway, what else was I going to talk about? I had some different things in here. I was just going to say, I am going to do an entire video on public transportation. That is a general one that will like address the majority of places that you go to and how you use the maps and how you figure everything out. There will be exceptions, of course, like Almaty and like Cyprus, that don't have the Google directions, but they still have public transportation. It's just you have to navigate it differently. So I will be doing that at some point in the near future. What else did I put on here? It's like really dark in here. So I'm trying to use it. I turned off all the background lights because it was horrible, and the above lights. So anyway, I can't remember what else I was going to talk about. Yeah, so today, like I said, I went up into the mountains. I also went up into, like yesterday, I went to Republic Square, I think is what it's called. It's really pretty. It's another famous place here. Hold on. Fortunately, I was supposed to leave tomorrow and go someplace else. But fortunately, my Airbnb that I'm staying at, usually I stay at hostels, but I just, I found this Airbnb. There weren't a lot of hostel options. My first night here, I got in at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was exhausted. I already had this capsule hotel scheduled because it was really cheap, and I didn't know what to do when I was originally making my plans for Almaty. I didn't know how long I was going to stay, and so I just did one night in a capsule hotel, which turned out to be really good because there was an issue with our flights, and so we got delayed by a lot of hours. So anyway, I checked in at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Luckily, they had 24-hour front desk. The capsule hotel was very interesting. It basically is just like a tiny little closet with like a bed and a little desk, and then you just kind of slide the door and you lock it and you have your own little space. Luckily, I always travel with my little portable fan. Oh my gosh, there's no way I could have survived in that room without that. I mean, they did have some like vents for like air conditioning, but that was not going to be helpful in a closet type space. I needed some air movement. So I put my little fan right next to me on the table, the little desk that they had, and then I just ran the little fan and I slept fine. But when I left there, I actually, on my flight from Ankara to Almaty, they actually gave us like free internet for certain kinds of things, and I was able to access my Airbnb app. And so as I was flying here in the middle of the night, I found this place that I'm staying, and I booked it. Of course, it had to be approved by the host. So by the time I woke up from the capsule hotel, it was all approved. And it was great because the capsule hotel actually was $30 a night, which is totally fine. It's a little expensive, honestly, for what you're getting for this area, because this right here, this Airbnb, I get my own. It's super cute. I get like, this is like a little like balcony area that's been enclosed. It's super cute. I have beautiful windows, this little desk for working, big nice bed, a big kitchen, really nice bathroom, $35 a night. So capsule hotel is a bit overpriced, in my opinion. Capsule hotel does definitely have its perks. I mean, you are around. Oh, by the way, this Airbnb also has laundry, but they had it at the capsule hotel as well. So anyway, the perks of the capsule hotel is you're around other travelers. And you know what, Stephanie, you don't have to have your comment on here the whole time. I'm going to take this off. Let me turn this off. Hide. Yeah, we don't have to just have your comment up there forever, for all time. Anyway, so the advantage of the capsule hotel is you're around other travelers that you can, connect with and go hang out with and do stuff with. That is very fun. So if you are looking for that kind of thing, that's definitely great. For me, I just was exhausted and I just needed my own space. So I got this Airbnb and I was very, very pleased that I did. I will say, when I arrived, I was like, wow. So the pictures, I mean, when I got into the apartment, it was great. But on the outside of the building, I was all, it's a little rough. Like to go through the door to get into the building, like you go, I'll have a whole video on this. It's hilarious. I'm like walking up going, can this really be the door? It was just this big like metal, it was just a big metal like warehouse door. I'm like, is this really a residential place? Like, it doesn't feel like this would be the door. And I'm like, let's put in the code and see if it works. And it did. I was like, this is the door. So you walk through the door, you have to go through another door and put in another code. And so in the middle, you're like kind of stuck in between. When I was going to leave the building, I could not figure out how to get out of that main door because there was like a little button and I would push it, but nothing happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm stuck in here. I can't get out of this building. So anyway, I was able to finally, someone came in and I was like, how do you work this thing? Like, how do you get out? And he was like, oh, you show me, you push the button and you have to like wait for the sound and then you can push it out. It was a little bit nerve wracking. I mean, I could have gotten out of the space because I could have just gone back up to my place, but I'm like, I want to leave at some point. How am I going to get out of here? So anyway, so it was pretty rough. So you go through the second door and then you go in and you're just like, oh my gosh. Like it was like the creepiest, like old warehouse kind of setting vibe that you can imagine. I was all, what have I signed up for? So then I press the elevator. I'm like, please don't let this elevator like not work. And I get stuck in this freaking thing. I was a little bit nervous. So then I go up to the 5th floor, I get out and there's my place. Put in the code, a whole nother code for that. I had 3 codes. Put in the other code for that, get into the room, get into the Airbnb. It was beautiful. It would have scared you away. I know. I was like, what am I doing? This is so crazy. Luckily it was broad daylight. Otherwise, if it was in the middle of the night, oh my gosh, I would be totally scared. So anyway, the place is darling. Like they have done a fantastic job fixing up this apartment. I mean, I think a lot of the other ones in this building, I've noticed there's like, you can look out the window and you can see like the other apartments. Like you can see that, like I told you that this is like an enclosed balcony that I'm sitting in. You can see the other ones, they either had an completely open balcony, or they have an enclosed, but it's all just filled with trash. Like there's just, some people are just using it as a storage. There's some that looks like no one even lives there, to be honest. Anyway, so yeah. What was I going to say? So this one has been renovated really nice. I mean, they did a fantastic job on the painting. There's crown molding. I mean, really put a lot of work into this place. Really cute. So, and the host was really easy to work with. And I was lucky. I was going to say, I only had it through tomorrow morning, but then I saw on Airbnb that there was one day that was still available. And it was tomorrow, like it was tomorrow was available still. Like she didn't have anybody until Saturday. So I just messaged her. I'm like, can I just extend my stay by 1 day? And she's like, yeah, it was $35. She just charged me for it. And that was it. So it was perfect. So that gives me an extra day to kind of recoup a little bit. I did go on a little hike today. That was probably, I mean, I'm glad I went because it was good to get out and get out of the room and like go explore up in the mountains and have some fresh air. But it was pretty intense. I hadn't eaten much because I wasn't feeling good yesterday at all. And so I was kind of going on like no energy, but like the incline was like 12 degrees. I don't even like whatever, it's a 12 degrees incline. It was pretty steep for me when I wasn't feeling good. So, and it was super hot. I don't like hot weather to hike. And I wasn't wearing the proper hiking clothes. For some reason, thinking that we're going to the mountains, so it was going to be like really cold. And so I had like all of my layers and freaking jeans on. I was like, what the heck was I thinking? This is not appropriate for hiking. So anyway, I was beautiful, but I had the wrong attire on. I wish I would have had on something way more appropriate. I have like some gray hiking pants. I could have worn those, but I was worried that it would be too cold. Well, it wasn't too cold. I don't know why I was thinking it would be that way, but anyway, it rained yesterday and it wasn't ever chilly. It's interesting because the temperature's here about the same as my home area. It was like 86 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. And today I think it was in the 80s. But that's still too hot in the middle of the day for me to hike. I just don't like to hike in the heat. So anyway, so after today's adventures, I'm really glad I have tomorrow to kind of recoup a little bit more. My plan is try to sleep in, which is why I wanted to do this now. I had thought about just getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and doing it at 7 p.m. Eastern time like I did before, but I was like, I can't do it. Oh, I've been, you've been binging my channel. Oh, you're so sweet. Katie, that's so nice of you. I hope that my content has been helpful for you. I have just been randomly like choosing different topics to do videos on. And I was getting ready for this big trip around the world. And so that's what inspired a lot of my videos, because I was doing it anyway. So I'm like, all right, so then why not just make a video about it as I'm doing it? So a lot of mine were, like, as you probably have noticed, are discovery videos. Like, I have no idea how they're going to end up until I do it. And I just figure, let's just do it on it. Why do it twice, right? Why don't I just do it while I'm discovering it? So that's been kind of my plan. So I'm kind of efficient like that. But in the meantime, you get to watch the whole process, which I think in some ways is interesting to see, like the discovery process when people don't know how things are going to work out. So anyway, thank you so much for watching my content. And thank you so much to Stephanie for all your support. I really appreciate you guys so much. Oh my goodness, what am I doing here? Okay, that's just, sorry, some weird stuff just popped up on here. I'm going to show your comment. Maybe your goal is to travel with only a belt bag. Girl, that would 100%, 1000% be my goal. I have my 35-liter Cotopaxi with me. Of course, that's what I always travel with. And I always try to be as light as possible. Like my toiletries, I pared down huge for this trip. And I'm so happy about it. Like it has been revolutionary. And my toiletries will continue to decrease, obviously, as the trip goes on. But if I didn't have to take this laptop with me, I would be so much happier, because a lot of my stuff is electronics, unfortunately. But I work when I travel, right? So anyway, you love the deodorant video. Oh my gosh, the deodorant video. It was so fun to do that. And honestly, it has worked like a charm. I love those chapstick deodorants so much. I actually, let's see, how many did I bring with me? Because this is a long trip, right? And I didn't want to have to worry about going and buying anything, because that means that I would have to buy a giant one and then I have to carry that around. So I think I brought 4 with me for this trip. And Katie, you're just barely on. And so I apologize to you. I am not feeling well. So this is why I'm continuing to wipe my nose. And every once in a while I will mute because I will be coughing. I caught something. I think that there's lessons always to be learned in life. I never want to like disappoint people, right? With friends. So I was supposed to be staying with these friends in Vienna. And a little bit before my trip, the one friend was like, oh, I've been so sick. And I was like, I think I should stay somewhere else. He was like, no, I'll be fine by the time you come. You'll be in a different part of the house. And I'm like, all right. So that when I get there, he's still off of work. Anyway, long story short, I ended up spending a bunch of time with him, and I caught what he had. So even though he was at the tail end of it, I know this has got to be it, because he was describing all the things that he had for like 2 weeks. That's what I have. So just looking back on things, I could think it would have been, it would have been so much smarter for me to just say, oh my goodness, I would love to spend time with you guys, but since one of you is sick, I think it's best that I just stay in a hostel and I kind of do my own thing. Maybe we can get together for dinner or something. But I mean, I spent a lot of time with the sick guy. So anyway, sweetest friend in the world, and everybody gets sick, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just shouldn't have put myself in a position to get sick at the very start of this trip, because now I don't know what's going to happen. Yes, lessons learned. Anyway, I should have just done that. And even though like I just don't like to be rude, I don't like to like disappoint people and be like, I'm not staying at your house. Like, you've been sick. What are you thinking? But I didn't say that. And I didn't need to say it that way. I could have just been like, hey, like I can't stay here because I can't get sick. Anyway, I'm having some of my little mints. Katie, I wanted to show you this. Okay, so I showed this to Stephanie earlier. This is the little mint tin. Look how tiny this is. I just found this here in Almaty, Kazakhstan is where I'm at right now. I just found this at the pharmacy when I was getting my other stuff yesterday. So cute. This is gonna be adorable. So it has this little insert. And so I think it'll be helpful for things. This little plastic insert that makes it so you can get the mints out. They don't just fall out. I bought 3 of these. I did not need to buy 3 of these and to carry it around with them, but I couldn't resist. I love small things. So, and I looked everywhere at home to try to find tiny mint tins, and I couldn't find them. The smallest I could get was at Trader Joe's. I've never seen anything that small ever. It's so cute. I'm very excited about this. So, and then Katie, I want to show you. I showed this to Stephanie, and anybody else who's watching, sorry, you have to leave comments. Otherwise I don't know who's on here. But I just bought this today. I'm a big fan of buying jewelry when I travel. That is the only souvenirs that I buy. I used to buy all the stupid stuff, like all the trinkets, all the things, and then they ended up in a box in storage. I'm like, why did I buy this stuff? I'm like, rings, I love jewelry. So the rings are super fun, but they will be useful. We will need a video about the mention, I know. Anyway, so we'll find some other uses for this. But anyway, so the ring, my friend that I met, long story about, there was a group of us that got stranded in Ankara, Turkey. We had about 24 hours together. It was very fun. We were put up in a hotel, all the stuff. But we became really, really good friends. And the one girl's from here, which is perfect because then I had a contact here. And she's the one that showed me the mountains. Anyway, so she had some rings. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. She was like, oh, I got them at this place. And she pointed it out. And then she sent me the Instagram for it. So I immediately went inside and I bought this. It's so pretty. So I don't, let's see if you can see the details. See how pretty that is? It's got like such pretty detailing on the side. It's handmade. It's silver. I think she said it was, I mean, it's completely silver and it has like a red stone. Anyway, really good price. I got this for, I think it was like $30 US dollars. Anyway, I love it. And it's adjustable on the back. So you can kind of see that it's adjustable. So I didn't have to get a certain size or anything. It just fits on, and I can wear it on different fingers at different times. So I love this ring. Like I said, I'm a huge, huge fan of all things jewelry when I travel, because if I can wear it, then it doesn't go in the bag and it's a forever keepsake, just like you said. Yeah, it is so cute. Absolutely love this ring. So I currently have rings and it always brings back memories. So when I wear it, I'd be like, I remember when I bought this and John Malie has the exact same ring. Yeah, I didn't even try to buy the exact same ring, but I did. I just was looking because I had a whole bunch of different ones. And I'm like, okay, I really love that style. And that looks similar to what she has, but I don't know if it's just whatever. So I sent it to her. She's like, you have the exact same ring as me, the same color and everything, because they had different stones and I chose the same red. So anyway, super fun. But now, so whenever I see this, I'll remember that I bought this in Kazakhstan, and I have rings from so many fun places. I have these really cute rings from Rome. They're teeny tiny. I just bought them from a street vendor. My friend and I were walking through and we both bought rings. They were so cute. They're just tiny rings. They're so precious. I love those. I have a ring from Armenia, beautiful ring from Croatia, from Skopje, Macedonia. Those ones are like a red coral, beautiful. Where else do I have? Oh, I bought a really pretty ring in Jordan when I was there in February. That one was a little bit more expensive, but it was fine. I just, it was worth it. I'm willing to spend a little bit more money for really nice pieces, because especially if it's pure silver or whatever, then you have a really good piece, a really good ring. Oh, the street vendors in Rome. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about, the most beautiful watercolor there. I know the street vendors are amazing. So this was just a random girl that she wasn't even with any other people. She just had her little table set up. Right when we walked over a bridge, she was just there. And I'm like, wait a second, these rings are really cute. So yeah, anyway, I think I bought 3. In fact, I know I bought 3. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I bought several rings from her. They were a very good price. They were so cute. But yeah, I love jewelry. So anyway, Katie, do you have any questions that you would like to ask, travel related or the location related? Like I said, I'm in Almaty, Kazakhstan right now. I'm trying really hard to say the name right. Anyway, so if you have any questions at all, I would be more than happy to answer any specifics that you have. But just feel free to leave it in the comments if you do. In the meantime, I'll just kind of keep chatting a little bit. I have been on now for 45 minutes. So maybe we'll do it just an hour to save my voice. I'm a little bit concerned, and this is why with my sickness, is that so how about I just sit here and tap the mic? I'm really sorry for the noise. Great souvenirs for sure. Yeah. I forgot the mic was right here. Anyway, so when I was little, I had I think it was either RSV or like pneumonia or something, and I almost died. So I was 2. Anyway, I was really, really sick. So I think that it did some kind of damage to my lungs or something. Plus we have like family history of like asthma. So I don't actually have asthma until I get sick. So if I get like respiratory problems, then I get like I start to close off. So and I don't carry asthma stuff with me because I don't have asthma on a regular basis. Anyway, so I need to make sure that my chest does not get tight and I don't start to get constricted. If my throat gets really, really sore, then I know I'm in big trouble, because then that is when it starts to get swollen. And anyway, you don't need to know all my woes. I guess what I'm just saying is that I'm concerned that I need to really take care of myself over the next several days, because if I don't and this escalates, I have to make sure that wherever I have decided to land, that there is good medical care there, because yeah. So right now I'm in Almaty and they have good medical care here as far as I understand. I I just asked ChatGPT. I know it's not going to be completely reliable, but it's actually improved a lot since it first came out. And it's pretty decent. So anyway, I was just talking to it. How's healthcare when you travel? Okay. Let's put that on here. So when I travel, healthcare just varies, honestly. I got really, really sick last fall on a trip. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I'd gotten really sick on a flight, really sick. And by the time I got off, like I was just a wreck. And so I tried to take care of myself. I tried to do everything I could. I thought it was food poisoning and then I would just get better. And I just really never improved. I just kept on moving. I would think I was okay, so I'd move on to the next place. And then I would be like, I'm not well again. So it was just this constant thing. So I ended up I needed to get back to Europe because I felt like that's the best place for the healthcare, and I was going back there anyway. So I was just kind of waiting it out. I was all over the place. I was in the Caucasus region. I was in the UAE. I was freaking everywhere, and I was so sick. It was so ridiculous. My parents were like, why don't you just come home? And I'm like, because I want to finish, because I had this goal to go to every country in Europe, and I had been doing that over a series of trips, and this was supposed to complete it. And I was determined to get it done. And so anyway, I was going to go back to Italy and just go to a clinic there because I have traveler's insurance. I always get traveler's insurance when I travel. So I have World Nomads travel insurance. And I mean, I haven't tried any others. I know that there's other kinds. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff, like Safety Wing is another one I've heard of. I haven't tried them out. World Nomads has been pretty good for me. And so that is why I have actually I still use them. When I've had them pay up 3 times. I think it's been 3 times for different issues, unrelated issues. Like one was like a canceled flight. One was, and so they covered like all the things. One was my sickness and one was something else. Anyway, whatever. So they've covered like three different things. And all the times I've paid for it. So it's totally worth it, because when I got sick, I was like, okay, so if I can get back to Europe, because I just really felt like my medical care would be better in Western Europe. So, or just Europe in general. So I was going to do in Italy. And then I have this super good friend. She's a doctor in Poland. And she was like, and we were in touch the whole time. And she was like, why are you doing this in Italy? She's like, yes, it'll be fine, but no one knows you there. Why don't you just come to my hospital in Poland, and you can stay at my house. I will take care of you. I will do all the things, and I'll just take you to my hospital and we'll do all the tests and we'll see what's going on. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I just bought a ticket to Poland, and stayed at her place for at least, I think I was there for at least 8 or 9 days. And she gave me IVs in her house. At night, she would give me these different IVs to I guess hydration or something. I don't even know what I was getting. I was that trusty. So she was super good friends, super sweet. Her mother would cook for me every day, all this food, all this produce and stuff from their garden. It was wonderful. So in that instance, I was taken care of that way. That's the only time I've had to go into a clinic, and it was with my friends. So in this case here in Almaty, if I don't improve, if my cough starts to get worse before I leave this city, because it's a big city, I went to talk to ChatGPT. It gave me some suggestions of places that would be good to consider for expats or whatever. So I would maybe go into one of these clinics, or I would ask my friend who's from here and ask her for advice. But I would go in, get checked out. I had the traveler's insurance. And so the way it works, at least the way it worked with me this last time, is that I just had to pay everything cash, with my credit card. And even being stateside. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I just paid with my credit card at my friend's hospital, and then I made sure I got like all the receipts, all of the everything that I would need from them, like all of the results, all the stuff. And then I had it so that when I submitted to my World Nomads insurance, then I was able to get reimbursed, and they had no questions asked. They just reimbursed me the money. It was great. So yes, so I was going to comment on what you said here. Even being stateside is a toss up. I tore my Achilles in Vegas. Not a great experience. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I bet that was awful. And then your insurance probably didn't cover you there, is what I'm guessing, possibly. So my insurance was that way. So I got one of these respiratory things on a trip once. I was in Charleston, South Carolina. I was with my brother, and he was just like, I don't know what to do with you. So he's just like, I was trying to do everything I could to take care of myself, but it wasn't working. And I started getting laryngitis, and then my throat started getting like the closing off thing. So I went into like an aftercare place. It was irritating. They ended up taking me by ambulance. It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous experience. My insurance really didn't cover any of it because it was out of network. And so actually that's why the traveler's insurance, I don't know if they cover within the country, but they do internationally. So it feels like you're getting like, at least things are paid for. Cause yeah, they cover it all. Like the World Nomads is pretty good. Did get reimbursed, but it was a lot of hoops. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I know it's so expensive. The World Nomads, one of the things, like they have all different kinds of things. I mean, heaven forbid that this should ever happen, but they have even like, if something happens to you, like, and then, then your body can actually be shipped back home. They'll pay for that. I mean, that's really morbid, but yet you wouldn't want your family to have to pay for those things. However, I would definitely need to at least let someone at home know that I have that insurance, because if they don't even know, and what good did it do, right? Um, yeah, World Nomads is really good. They have different levels. So if you're like an extreme traveler, like say you like to do a lot of like extreme sports and all those things, you can pay more money for those particular plans, and they'll cover like more things. So like yeah, anyway, those are pretty good. I just get the basic because I don't do extreme stuff. So and it covers, like, not only does it cover your health insurance, you have to remember it also covers like missed flights. Like, you know, if your flight gets canceled. Sorry, I'm gonna get some mints out. Sorry for the noise. It's not coming. Okay. Anyway, it covers everything. Like if you get stuff stolen, it'll cover that. It's very reasonable, I feel like. So I bought it for this trip. It's all based on your age, where you're from, all that kind of stuff. So the prices will be different. But for this trip, because I booked it from September 2nd to October 21st. That's how long I said I was going to be gone. It asked what countries I was going to be to, and I was like, I don't know. I'm going to be in regions. So I just put Europe, Asia, and Australia because those are possibilities. I don't know. I just wanted to put those on there just in case. I feel like that covered it when I'm going east. And so anyway, you put those on there. They ask your age. They ask what state you're from or what country you're from, whatever. And then they give you a quote. You can choose the different levels. Like if you want to do basic, or if you want to, I'm going to do extreme sports, you can choose that one. It gives you a quote for the different ones. And so mine, I think I paid, and it was the same price last year. I think it was like I want to say, let's just say like $270 for all that time. That's pretty good, considering that my home health insurance is like $700 a month. So, I mean, you know, anyway, so $270 for almost 2 months. I think it's pretty good. And I will say that last year when I had to go to my friend's hospital, that was $300 US immediately. So it totally paid for itself. That insurance completely paid for itself. So yeah, I really like World Nomads. And like I said, they paid up for that one. They paid up when I had a flight get canceled when I was in Edinburgh, Scotland. And so I had to get to Paris. It was this big mess, and they covered all that stuff. So it was really easy. I feel like they just send you they cut you a check, but it's in like it's one that they just send for you to print, and then you just go put it in your bank account. So hold on, let me just cough for a second. Just give me 1 second here. Fortunately, it's a little bit of a dry cough right now, so that's kind of good. Anyway, So yeah, so I really like that insurance. I've never flown. I've never done the international trips without my own insurance. I don't ever do the one that you know how it offers you when you have like your when you're buying your flight. I don't do that one. I want to be able to choose my own plan and my own company, and so that's why that's why I decided to go with World Nomads. I don't remember how I found them, but I liked them. And like I said, a lot of other people have also been talking recently about Safety Wing. So that's also something to look into. Another friend of mine that I met in Moldova, she actually told me recently she lives in Turkey and she works for Safety Wing now. She's Canadian, but she works for Safety Wing as a remote like customer service person. So anyway, and she said, you know, they seem to be good. I mean, like I didn't really ask her a lot of details. I was like, oh, I was kind of looking at that. So anyway, yeah, so I would definitely suggest, like I said, I don't know how it works if you're just traveling within the United States, if it's even worth the bother with that, because then you're like doubly insured. Because if you are insured there, then you're kind of insured. But um, outside the country, I mean, I just think it's so important. You just never know. You never know. I had a good friend who she was in Greece and something happened. I think she was in like a moped accident or something. And I think she broke her ankle and she had to have surgery in Greece. You just don't know when these things are going to happen. There's no rhyme or reason. Things just happen, just like they happen at home. Like your Achilles, tearing your Achilles. I mean, this kind of stuff can happen overseas. So anyway, I haven't really ever thought about like, you know, what would I do if I needed like a major surgery and I was in a place that maybe didn't have the best stuff? Would I just like insist upon being like flighted someplace? I don't know. We are headed to Sweden next spring, so I'm definitely looking. Yeah, honestly, Katie, look into World Nomads. You can even do like a preliminary. You can just put it in there and say, okay, I like pretend that you're going like right now or something, and like just find out, just see what it would be like. And you don't have to, you know, pay for it. Obviously, you're just kind of looking at getting a quote. I think they're good. I really do like them. So, whatever. I mean, I can't, like I said, I can't give any recommendations on other companies because I haven't used them. But it's just kind of out of, I don't want to say my own laziness, but like when you have something that works, it feels like, well, why should I change? You know, unless there's a really good reason to change. Why would I change? So anyway, I feel like I should have set up this camera differently because I feel like there's a lot of top room and I'm like so low. So sorry about that. But you know, I am like very limited supplies to try to set this up. I actually brought a tiny little like key light with me. It's super small, super thin. I have it set up on my Insta360 little stick, the little invisible stick. I don't know if you guys are familiar with any of the fun cameras that you can get. So I have the Insta360 X4 and it comes with an invisible stick. So it's really cool. So you just extend that stick out like super long and then you can like do different videos with it or different pictures. And the stick is not there. Like it's completely invisible. It's really cool. So anyway, you can use that stick though. Like I didn't realize this at the time, but you can use that stick for other purposes. Like you can, it has the little screw on it. So you can plug it. You can like screw on like this light. I was able to screw on that. I can put my GoPro on it. I can put my phone with the phone adapter, you know, the little one that you put on a regular tripod. I've learned so many things in the last little while, just trying to like simplify my stuff. But I like to have different camera equipment when I travel, especially to these really pretty places. Just to get some really cool videos and pictures. I think it's just kind of, I always regret when I don't have things with me. Even if I don't use them the whole time, I'm glad I have them. So what was fun is that with this Insta360 stick, before I left, I found out, and I can't show it to you because it's literally being used right now, but it's really cool because you can find on Amazon teeny tiny, in fact, I should just do a whole video on the different camera stuff because I think you guys might think this is fun. So I found tiny tripod legs, little tiny. They're like this big and they're really sturdy. So I can screw those on the bottom of the Insta360 stick. And now I have a tripod out of it because it's just a selfie stick. There's no way to like put it down. So and those cost me like so cheap. It was like, I don't know, like let's just say $10. It was probably cheaper than that, but I'm just gonna round it to that because it was just a really good deal. So you can put that on there. And then I found this other thing for the top that you can actually, it allows, because if you just screw directly onto the top of the Insta360 stick, it's like it's just flat. Like it won't let you do like any of the angles and stuff that like some of the other like tripods will let you do. So I found the adapter for the top that allows it to twist and move. So I can put my phone on it, GoPro, everything can I put on the selfie stick? So I still brought a regular tripod with me because I needed to have two, especially for this kind of thing. I needed to have one for the light, need to have one for the phone. So I have two, but honestly, the one tripod that I brought is kind of a piece of junk. I really like the 360. It's tons better. So I would have been better served to have even two of those sticks rather than the big tripod. Honestly, I would be better off because the selfie stick, the Insta360, is very thin, and the tripod is not like that. So, and yeah, it's just a way better quality. So anyway, it was really fun to find that, but I think a full video on that might be kind of fun because then I can show you like different things about it, different things I've learned about it. It was funny. I was using the 360 with my friends in Vienna. It's hilarious because yeah, we were on this boat and I was trying to use it. And then I was just trying to take a picture because I've never really used the still pictures before. And then when we got off the boat, we were just like by their lake house and I was trying to take pictures there. And like every time I turned, like, so I was trying to take it and like, because there's the cameras on both sides. So that's what allows it to have the 360, right? So I was like, okay, I think we go like this, and I press the button, and then we take the picture, and it still wasn't us. Press it again, still wasn't us. It was kind of like, I don't know if you guys are Friends, like fans at all, but it reminded me of the episode of Friends where Ross is trying to get the tan. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's so funny. So he's trying to get a tan, and he keeps on moving different directions based on like the spray is coming out, and he's like, oh, then maybe this time I need to turn this other way. And it's very confusing, but that's how it felt with this Insta360. So we finally sorted it out. We found out that we had it actually set up on the 360 still, like it was using both cameras instead of, you could just use the one camera, not both. So it was using both. So what would happen is I was taking the picture, but I could actually move it around on the screen, and I could get any shot from any of those that it took. So that's what's kind of fun about this camera is that it does the whole 360. So when you're actually framing your videos or framing your stills, you can actually just select multiple parts of that 360, not just the one. So say I really liked the one of me, but I also liked the sky, well, or the lake. Well, I can do all of those pieces with the 360 from the same shot, if that makes sense, from the same either still image or the same video. I can do stills, I can do all this stuff, and I can do the video from any angle, and I can do multiple videos. It doesn't just have to be like one thing. But yeah, it was so funny with like, we were so ridiculous. We're like taking this camera, it was my friend Jacob and I, we're just like, okay, take it. And then we're like, wait a second, it's like these guys, like it was the other people, and we're like, our face would be like, well, I don't understand. So we pressed the button, we tried again. It was the same thing. It was hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, it's a really cool camera. There's a lot of cool features on it, and obviously I'm still learning. So anyway, yeah, I am going to hide your thing here because we don't need to just have this up on the screen the whole time. I'm getting to know this whole system as well. So anyway, guys, I have been doing this. I'm quite impressed with myself, especially with my coughing and my voice. I've been doing this for a full hour and 2 minutes. That's pretty good. So does anybody have any other questions? I am happy to answer any questions you might have. I think it's just fun to just chit chat and just talk. It's actually fun because, you know, I'm here by myself in Kazakhstan. So it's fun to just have people to chat with on this live. So I appreciate you guys joining me on it. Next week will be a mystery. Nobody knows where I'm going to be. And it's not that I'm keeping secrets from you. I literally don't know where I'm going to be next Thursday. I have no clue. I honestly don't even know where I'm going to be on Saturday. I might still be here in Kazakhstan. I could be in Kyrgyzstan. I could be in Uzbekistan. I really don't know. Now, I will say that, you know, my goal is to keep going east. Now, if you look at a map, I actually am going west to get to those places, but it's all within the same area. So I'm counting this still as east. I just had to go to the one that would allow me to fly in for the cheapest, and that was Almaty. So I came here to Almaty, and then I'll do the other ones. I'm really excited about Uzbekistan in particular, because if you guys have not looked up anything on Uzbekistan, it is spectacular. It is all the Silk Road. So you've got Tashkent, Samarkand, and Bukhara. Those are the three main places, and they're all the Silk Road, and they're beautiful. So I was talking to my friend today, and she was explaining that region is very similar to like Iran. So a lot of the architecture in Uzbekistan is similar to Iran, and like Iran is a little bit off limits, you know, obviously for travel for most people, at least, especially with an American passport, a US passport, I guess I should say. I'm sorry, I need to be more accurate on what I'm saying. But anyway, so I get to see the architectural style of Iran by going to Uzbekistan. So I'm very excited about that. It looks stunning, like turquoise, like mosaics on like their mosques, and it's just gonna be so pretty. I'm very excited about going to Uzbekistan. So all of these places I have never been. So I'm trying to also go to places that are new places for me. I've been to India. That is some place that is a possibility for this trip. I have my visa. What I did is I went to India last December, and I just bought the 30-day visa because that was just what I bought. I didn't even really realize that there were other options for India. Well, there's 30-day, 1 year, and 5 years. And so I just decided just to splurge. I really love India, and I want to go back like multiple times because it's so large. You can't do all of it in one trip. I mean, I guess you can, but you'd be staying there for a long time to go see all the parts. And so I thought, okay, well then I'll just get the 5-year. I splurged and I spent the money for the 5-year visa. And now I can come and go as I please for the next 5 years. I have my visa. It came just the other day. So this trip could include India, which is why I want to make sure that this is cleared up before I'm going to, like, yeah. So anyway, India, yeah, we don't know. We have no clue where I'm going to end up. I just know that on October 21st, or October 22nd, I will be back at my house. So that's the only thing I know for certain. Everything else is a complete mystery. I will tell you that it is kind of nice to travel this way. I've always wanted to be very, very flexible in my travels. And most of my trips, I've left a chunk of time at the end of my trip where I can do this. And it was my favorite. It's always been my favorite part of my trip. And so I'm like, well, why am I not just doing that the whole time? So the only thing I had planned at the very beginning was to see my friends in Vienna. And then I knew approximately that I was going to be heading towards this Central Asia region. But I didn't know when, and I didn't know which one or any of that stuff. So I literally booked my flight within I think I was leaving within 2 days, and I booked it. So I'm not going to get the best prices that way. And I totally understand that, but I'm still not going to be paying. I don't feel like the price. I'm not going to pay a super large amount of money for these last minute tickets. If it's too much, I won't go to that place. But so it has to be reasonable, of course, but that's how I'm doing this for this trip. And I will tell you that it's made it kind of nice. So I haven't gone into any detail about this because I'm going to save it for a video, but essentially, we missed a connection. It was not our fault. It was the airline's fault in Ankara, Turkey, middle of the night. We were supposed to be here by 6. We were supposed to catch a red-eye flight to Almaty, and they left us. We were like 5 minutes. 5 minutes is all they had to wait for us, and they didn't wait. And I understand, airlines are on time schedule. They can't wait, but they had to put us all up in a hotel. So there was a bunch of travelers in the same situation. So that was actually pretty nice. Anyway, so my point is telling you that is that because my plans were so flexible, I wasn't concerned. And I'm showing that I'm like, I don't have. Okay, so I hope that you can even hear me. Can anybody leave a comment in the comments and tell me if you can even hear anything I'm talking about? Because it's possible that I have no connection and I just don't even know. So, and it's possible. Oh, okay, it's coming back and forth. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Okay, because it was showing up on the screen, the little Wi-Fi, and it was saying that I didn't have hardly any Wi-Fi, so I didn't understand. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Okay, this is what I was going to tell you, is that because I had no specific plans, I didn't have like upcoming flights that were getting messed up. I wasn't being shortchanged in any particular location because I had no plan. I was just going to get here and then figure out my next steps. Honestly, I know that not everybody can travel like that. I completely understand because this is a brand new thing for me as well. But being able to travel like that in this instance was so nice because I didn't have to. Okay, thanks, Stephanie. There's a brief part where it wasn't real clear, but then it cleared back up. Okay, thank you. I think it was something to do with the Wi-Fi. So because I didn't have any set plans, getting stranded in another place, it wasn't a big deal. they had to pay for our hotel. I mean, granted, if I would have been stranded on my own dollar, I'd been more upset. But I didn't care so much because I'd never been to Ankara before. So that was fun, actually. It was fun. I was at a really nice hotel. I actually enjoyed it. I had my food paid for, my hotel, and then I was hanging out with fun people. I met some really fun friends. So anyway, I will plan on doing a whole video on that experience, but essentially that made it really nice to not have to be stressed about like, because usually I travel very fast, right? So say I'd missed a connection and I only had a day or two in Almaty. Well, then I would have lost a full day because I would have been stuck in Ankara. So then when I got here, I would have had less time and all the stuff. And then anyway, so it was very nice to just not have to worry about that. So, and also with not feeling good when I got here, I was able to extend my stay because I don't have anything booked yet. I literally have no plans. Like I need to figure out tomorrow what I'm doing for the next day because tomorrow's Friday and it's the last day, that full day that I have at this Airbnb. And I really need to be moving on to another country. And so I have to make those plans tomorrow. So it is the most spontaneous. I think I've always wanted to be this spontaneous traveler. I always dreamed of like how cool that would be. And so now I'm finally doing it. And honestly, it's pretty cool. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you, if you guys ever have the opportunity to be a spontaneous traveler and just book things as you go, my advice would be to not ever do that in the summertime, because I think that'd be foolish in the summertime. The reason is because that is high season in most places. And so you might have a difficulty finding places to stay and your flights are going to be really expensive. But in the off season, like I'm in the shoulder season right now, technically. So shoulder and off season is totally fine to do this because you are not going to have problems finding any place. I had so many options of places to stay. It was endless. Like it was difficult to decide because there were so many possibilities. So that was very, very nice. The flights honestly were not that terrible. Like when you're thinking round trip, then yeah, maybe it's expensive, but I'm doing one ways. So it makes it a lot more manageable when you're like, okay, so it cost me $200 to fly from Vienna all the way through Turkey and to Almaty. To me, that's not terrible. If I'm thinking round trip of 400, but I'm not buying round trip. I'm buying one way. And one ways they're not double. They're not like you know how in the US, if you buy a one way, it's usually like this almost the same price as a round trip. That's not how it goes. In most of the rest of the world, like you buy a one way, it's literally like half the price of a round trip. That's what I found anyway. So anyway, yeah, so it has made it very, very nice to be flexible. My first real experience with being extremely flexible with this was last fall when I got sick. So when I arrived in Armenia, I didn't have any plans. I mean, I had my plans of where to stay. I was going to be there for a number of days. But after that, I didn't have any flights booked. I didn't have anything because I wasn't sure if I was going to fly or take trains or buses or whatever in between the spots. So it was really good because I didn't have any strict plans. I was able to just take the time to try to get better in the places before I left. Didn't exactly work because I stayed sick, even though I thought I was getting better, but it at least allowed me to recoup a little bit. So anyway, we can go on and on. But does anybody have any other questions before we hang up this live? It's been going on for about an hour, 13 minutes. It's now midnight here, so it's probably time for me to go to bed. And anyway, I am so grateful that you guys got on today. I'm sorry for the late notice. I will try to give more notice next week, but honestly, we don't know where I'm going to be. Hopefully I will be able to do one next week. That is the plan because I think it's kind of fun because you just don't know. It's like, you know, like the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, that whole thing that was like popular a long time ago or whatever. I guess it's Where in the World am I, like where's Amy this week. And it's fun for me too because I don't know where I'm going to be next week. So, but we're going to shoot for Thursdays for sure. For the rest of the time that I'm gone, and I'll just try to give as much notice as I can. Like I said, it's difficult because, like, for example, today I had thought about doing it earlier, but I was out doing things for the day, and so I didn't get back until it. And then I actually fell asleep on my bed for about an hour and a half when I could have actually been on a live, but whatever. I needed the sleep, so I was super tired. Anyway. thank you so much, everyone, for being on the live and also for supporting my channel, for watching my videos, for making all your comments and being real friends. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot. And so anyway, Stephanie, that's awesome. Never know where you'll be. Yeah. I'm going to show your comment up there, Stephanie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. For a while, it was just me and Stephanie on this call. It was really fun. So anyway, thank you so much, guys. And I am going to see you next week. And I'm going to try to do some more videos. I don't know what I'll get edited between here and then, but hopefully we get some more. I actually shot a video at the Amsterdam airport talking about flights. So it was like the third in my series for the flights, like what to expect on the actual airplane. Hopefully I have enough of that footage that I can actually put together a decent video for that. So we'll try to put that together and get that posted sometime. I don't know if that's my next one or if I'll try to do one of my other ones, but I have a lot of video footage. I actually have been just doing it from my phone. That's my main video recording device. And I ran out of space. I have 512 megabytes. Is that how much I have? It feels like I have more than that. Whatever I have. I ran out yesterday when I was out and about. It was like, you are full to capacity. So anyway, I had to come home, put a bunch of things, come to my apartment here in Almaty and put all my stuff on my SSD and then free up the space. But anyway, so I've taken a lot of videos. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. And I just want to thank you again for all your support. And I hope to see you next Thursday. And hopefully I'm in a better condition and we don't have some stories of me going to the hospital or something. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyway, thanks guys. All right, we'll see you later. Thanks, travel friends. Bye.